Welcome back to episode 3 of the Sidetrack series. My name is the Carter712, and the plan for today's episode is to start working out our roads and connecting the buildings that we have here in our starter area. So if we look up here from the storage building, we can see that I've started laying out some dirt and mellowing out these slopes a little bit and giving ourselves a little bit of room to work with. We jump over here. I've just been kind of laying out the dirt and trying to maintain a nice mellow slope while giving ourselves a couple block space to work with when we have to do our paths up these. I have already used like 4 double chests worth of dirt though, so I'm going to have to go grab a bunch more dirt to fill in these sections here. So let me go get that done and then we'll come back and start working on our paths. But before we get that done, I hope you guys enjoyed last episode building the slime farm here. I had a lot of fun doing it, and if you haven't checked out that episode, definitely go give it a watch. Alright, so 1,500 chests of dirt later, we got some nice mellow hills here that'll give us a nice base to work with when doing our roads. I ended up tearing out the little sugarcane farm that we had down here, and then I think this little shape down here is going to be a really nice area to do a pond, and that'll give us some different decoration, and I think it'll look really nice here in our little starter area. But unfortunately, we are going to have to tear out the original sheep farm that we built here. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with Jeb back there, but we'll find a nice home for him and everything. And if we run over here, I have started laying out kind of what we're gonna do for our path around the little central hub here. That's why we're gonna have to tear out the wool farm, is because I need to push this all back so that way we have a nice area to work with for our little like central area here at the little starter base. But for the little path, I came up with this little concept. And what we're doing is we're taking the cobblestone and it's kind of acting as cracks going through the path. And then we're doing andesite all around that, because the andesite kind of looks like a little bit less of a broken up like concrete or stone. And then stone on the edges as like the full like finished original like stone, how it looked when it was originally laid down. And then I ended up deciding to use some deep slate with these kind of like patch looks. So it kind of looks like they kind of took some asphalt at one point and maybe filled in some of these cracks. And then we used black stone bricks along the edge just to give it a nice little contrast. We started doing a little bit of like bushes and fences along the edge. I really like doing this, like I said in the last episode, with the oak bushes and the spruce bushes, or vice versa, oak bushes and spruce bushes. And I think that gives a really nice extra detail with the light and dark. And we will end up coming through and doing some like light posts and stuff like that. But I always like doing this when I'm laying out my roads, doing a small little section like this before I go ahead and like dig everything out. That way we can kind of get an idea and a feel of what everything is going to look like. And if we fly up here, I think it gives a nice contrast off of the ground. And then once we add our lights and everything, I think we're going in the right direction. So I'm going to jump into doing some of that stuff and we'll be back in a minute. So, as you've seen from that last clip, we got a little sidetracked while we were watching Minecraft live on Saturday, and I got a lot of work done on this little pond here. So if we jump down here, we can take a little bit closer look at what we did. And we have our little beach that we set up here, and we got a little path that comes back this way and leads over to a little bridge that I built. That way it gives us a little way to get across the pond and over into our little relaxing area underneath our enchantment area. But I'm really happy with how this bridge turned out. It's got some nice little depth with the trap doors and the stairs, and I think it adds a nice little detail to our little pond here. We added some logs with some moss and stuff on the top of them. We have a few floating, and then a few that are kind of just sunk down in here in the water, and then some coral and kelp and bushes and stuff like that to add a bunch of color down into our lake here. But there is one thing that we're missing still, and that is to add a little bit of life into this lake. So we got some tropical fish, we got some salmon, and we got a few tadpoles. Let's throw these guys in here and add a little life to our pond. So now we got some fish swimming around our pond here. The next thing that we need to do is jump up here onto the beach and lay some turtle eggs. We'll have to watch these guys over a couple nights and wait for them to hatch, and then we should have some turtles swimming around in here as well. I really wanted to throw some axolotls in here, but I think the axolotls will eat the tadpoles as well as our tropical fish, so unfortunately we can't do that. But I think with the fish here, once we get our turtles hatched and our tadpoles that turn into frogs, that should be enough life for our little pond here. All right, so we've spent 2 nights here protecting our turtle eggs, and I don't know if one hatched and I just didn't see it because I thought I laid 4 down here. So we might have 1 turtle in there. We still got to wait a couple more nights. I'm not exactly sure how many nights it takes for these eggs to hatch, but during this time while we're waiting, we're going to try and do a little something here with our item frames and our little item frame book here. So if we throw a shovel in here and then we rotate it like that, we should be able to hide this item frame and make it to where it looks like we got a little shovel sitting here next to our sandcastle. Fixed item frame, invisible item frame. So let's see here. To make an item frame invisible, it must be 1 block in front of the player's eyes and have an item in the frame. Alternatively, you can also enter. Okay, so we got to stand in front of it. 1 block in front of our eyes. That work, and then invisible item frame. Hey, look at there, guys. So now we got a little shovel sitting here. We got a little bucket, like the kids were sitting here, you know, with their shovels and their sand buckets and building a little sand castle here. We also built a couple little awnings here so that way you can get some shade and some little beach towels and some little recliners to kind of relax here on the beach. So let's do 1 more of these guys, and then we'll have to wait a couple more nights for these turtle eggs to hatch, and then we should have all the life here in our little pond. So we're on to night 6 of defending our turtle eggs. I looked it up and it said that most turtle eggs hatch within 7 nights. So I guess Minecraft is just really trying to test us with these ones. There we go, guys. Our turtle eggs have finally hatched. We got 3 turtles going into the pond, and it only took us 7 nights to get there. Leave some comments down below and let me know some name suggestions for our turtles. Well, I think that's about going to do it for episode 3 of the Sidetrack series. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed the content, I would really appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button, click the like, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with everything that's going on here at the Sidetrack series. We did get a little sidetracked in this episode and didn't get as much of the paths and the roadways done that I wanted to, but I think the pond turned out great here. Again, make sure you leave some comments down below with some name suggestions for our turtles, and I will see you guys in the next episode.